Hello everyone, it's Thursday, I think July 12th, Zone 7, northeast of Atlanta, not quite to Athens. I've had several requests for people asking me how I make so much compost. So I thought I'd do a compost video and show you. It was really nice. There's a private nursery around that closes for a couple of months in the summer. Huge, wonderful nursery, but when it gets to closing time, they'll sell pallets for $2. So as you can see, I went and collected some pallets. These are some that I got last fall, and I need to move these down, but this compost here is almost finished. I seem to have developed an unbelievable tomato plant here that's about to flower, so we're going to see what it turns into. Compost pile will grow all kinds of things, but this is what we're after in a compost pile. We're after this kind of just complete, wonderful, rich nutrients, full of worms, full of beneficial bacteria, but mostly where we are, it's all Georgia clay and hardpan, and it is a battle to keep any kind of porous material in the soil. So leaves and this kind of stuff is just gold for your garden, for your plants to grow in and to keep the drainage going. So I've reached one of those times where, interestingly enough, these are my two newer sections. This one has been completely finished. This is the one that we're working on right now. So it's partially done. You can see all the grass clippings and stuff. But what I'm going to do is show you how I start one of these. Because this one's, you know, there's some more in here I could get, but it's far enough along, and this other monster guy over here is just about ready. And once I get it broken down, I can tie it into the other two and it'll look better. So I'm going to get the camera set up and show you how I start one of these things. Watch other videos online about making compost. They all have these formulas, green matter, brown matter, this and that stuff. So I watched all that stuff. I probably wouldn't do a compost pile. It just seems like I would never have the right proportions of anything. So my composting style is called just pile it in. You're supposed to turn it all the time. I don't know how you turn a pallet like size area like this. So as a rule, mine don't get turned. I try and level it out. I don't know why. I just do. And then I either have a lot of cardboard boxes, or I like to put some hard to do stuff on the bottom, just to give me, like, when it's all finished, when I get down to where that stuff is, I know I've hit the bottom. So in this particular case, what I have is a lot of wood chips. These are almost totally oak chips, so they're like forever to get them to break down. But they'll make a good base, good starting point. Pile those in. See what I can knock over in the process. Oh, Tulsi basil pot. And then I got this stuff free from some of the tree people. And when you go down and see them doing tree stuff, they got a chipper running. They got to do something with all those chips. And if they don't have anything to do with them, they got to take them to a landfill or some kind of site. And they're going to have to pay to do it. And it takes time. These guys were working about 3 or 4 houses down. when I went down and asked if I could have the chips, they dumped them in my yard. You'd have thought I was offering them a winning lottery ticket. They were really happy. So now we got this bed here in good shape. To start, in the basement, inside the back door, I keep a 5-gallon bucket. And we put all the wet kind of compost stuff. And I've been saving this for a couple of days. Just so you can, despite the fact it's snowing, a couple of days. Just so I can show you what kind of stuff goes in. Egg cartons, cantaloupes, lemon peels, the cuttings off tomatoes, paper towels, lettuce, anything that'll break down goes in there. Now, left like this, it's going to collect an army, waves of flies and all kinds of nasty things. So you got to cover it up. Now, when I mow the yard, I collect the grass. That ends up being my green matter. So I got some vegetative matter, brown stuff on the bottom. And then I collect the grass clippings. Okay. Now at this point, that'll keep the flies down. The grass clippings are full of nitrogen. That'll get the whole thing cooking. And they're sitting on a bed of oak chips. They're going to take a long time to do. So what I will do then is tonight, when we have another, a third of a bucket, nothing like the amount I just showed, I'll put them on. I'll add some more grass clippings. When I get about halfway done with my pile of grass clippings, I'll put another layer of oak chips on. That kind of does their layer. I know they talk about a third, whatever. I don't know. I pile it in. Put the grass clippings on top. And the grass tip. If I don't have grass clippings, or vegetable matter from pulling out bean vines or whatever, then I just use the oak chips. It doesn't matter. If I get a really droughty period and I just don't have any green matter at all, I'll put some nitrogen fertilizer on. Anything to keep the process cooking. And you can add some nitrogen fertilizer, not a problem. And that'll keep your bed going good. So you just put in a layer of that on top of it and keep going. And I'll build it up till it gets up about this high. And by then, this one will be empty. I will have moved that bed down to attach it to this one so it looks better. And I'll have a new empty one to start with. By the time I'm starting that one, this one will have finished up and be percolating and looking real nice. So with 3 beds, I always have one that's finishing, one I'm just starting, and one that's in process. Now, this one needs a whole lot more in it. The next one, let me take these off and show you. Showing you here how I start one, but the reality is that this one has got a whole lot further to go before I really would be putting things in that one. This one I can fill up. You can see somewhere in here is as high as I'll go, only because it puts a lot of pressure on my pallets that are held together with fence posts and lots of zip ties. But you can see how this one's going, and there's no flies, there's no rodents, you don't get anything because you keep it covered with either the grass or the oak. Then we've got this brand new one ready to go. And then we have this wonderful thing over here going. Sometimes I get my best gardening stuff comes out of the compost pile. A couple of years ago it was spaghetti squash. We got about 15-20 spaghetti squash came out of the compost pile. I never planted them. And they were seeds from when we had a spaghetti squash and put it into the compost. Well, obviously it didn't get hot enough and the seeds sprouted. I think that was the same year we had the family of black snakes make a nest, and we had black snake eggs and little mama black snakes. So that year we didn't add a lot to it, and I didn't turn it, didn't use it. I left it for the black snake. I didn't want to encourage him. And up came the spaghetti squash. And we got at least a dozen, 16, 18 spaghetti squash. We had those for 8-9 months and gave them away to people. So the compost pile will grow some incredible. It's funny, if you could grow in just pure compost, if you look at my tomatoes out in the garden, none of them can compete with how healthy this one is. And we've got lots of flowers. Be interesting to see what kind of tomatoes we get. They're not going to be a cherry type because there's only 4, 5, 6 flowers in each set. But it's the healthiest tomato I have is the one growing in the compost pile. So I know I'm making good compost. But it really is just that simple. Take your food waste, mix in shredded paper. Don't use magazines with the glossy stuff. But shredded paper, cardboard boxes, paper towels, whatever you have, plus the trimmings off the vegetables. Pile them in, put some grass clippings or other material on top, and you don't have to turn it. I mean, it'll work faster if you turn it, but seriously, I've got 3 of these containers going, and I just about always have 1 container ready to harvest. This one's ready to harvest right now, as soon as I need it. So, compost pile is easy. It doesn't have to be this big. It could be whatever size you can manage. If you only have room for 1 pile, just make 1 pile. Rake the top back and pull the compost off the bottom, then rake it back over. It's easy to do, and frankly, it's free. The grass clippings are free. The trimmings out of the vegetables are free. Newspaper and cardboard boxes come with other stuff. They're free. This turns into free soil. So that's how I do compost. Lots of people have other ways they do it. They're all like scientific or whatever. I just pile it in and let nature do its thing. So thank you for watching. Hit the little thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe. And we'll send you notices of when these new ones come out. And I've already got sweat dripping off of me. It is so hot and so humid here in Atlanta. So thank you for watching.